Hi everyone, welcome back to the Coding and Analysis YouTube channel. And in this video, this is a standalone video that I wanted to do that goes over the difference between a function and a method in Python. In some of these videos that I have done, I might have mixed up, might have called something a method that was a function or a function that was a method. But in this video, I just want to clear up any misconceptions, make sure we know the difference between a function and a method. So a function in Python is a reusable block of code that performs a task. A method is a function that belongs to an object like a data frame, series, or string. It's called with a dot notation. So really both of them are functions. It's just a method function is a function that belongs to an object. So when we think of a function, we think of the print function. These are standalone code block that returns a result. So the print function, the mean absolute error function, or just the train and predict function this custom function that I made. And a method would be like df.copy, df.to_CSV. So these are called on objects using dot notation. So we have the dots right here, and the data frame is the object. And then we have model methods, which are functions tied to machine learning model objects. So XGBoost, or the abbreviation xgb.fit method, xgb.predict method. So there are functions tied to the XGBoost machine learning model object. And one thing like pd.concat, that's a function called from the module, not tied to any data frame. And then xgboost.fit, a method called on an object xgb that is an instance of a class. So it belongs to an object that's called on an object, which is the XGBoost library. So the rule of thumb, the way to think of it is if it's called on an object and it's defined inside a class, it's a method. And for the most part, if there's dot notation, it would be a method. You have some exceptions like the pd.concat and the pd.read_CSV, because these are not tied to a data frame or a series. They're coming from the pandas library, and they are not tied to a data frame. They're just called from the module, the pandas module, or library. And then if it's called from a module like pandas, numpy, sklearn, and doesn't rely on a specific instance, it would be a function, like the ones I just talked about. pd.concat, pd.read_CSV. So if we go through here, really let's go up to the top. So this is a function. It's not tied to an object. This becomes a data frame, df.head, so this is a method. We go to df.info, it's a method. df.groupby, property type, price, that is a method. .describe is a method. And then let's go down to the train and predict. So the train and predict is our custom function that trains an XGBoost model and returns predictions, which returns the sold price of single family home predictions. So property underscore data is our data frame. Or really, when we do a copy, this is our original data frame. We're making a copy, so this is a method. This pd.dataframe. So this would be a function because it's not tied to an object, even though there's a dot notation. So it's coming from our module or library, pandas library, our module, and doesn't rely on a specific instance. So it's a function. This relies on this data frame right here. So this is a method. This is a method. It's another one, train and test split. So this is a function. It's coming from the scikit learn library. And it is a standalone function. There's no dot notation in it. So property underscore data. So dot location or dot loc. This is a method. This is a method. This is the XGB regressor coming from the XGBoost library or module. And then when we get that, we abbreviate it. So it'll be xgb.fit method, xgb.predict method. And then we get our mean absolute error function. Mean absolute error functions coming from the scikit learn module or library. And then we're creating our feature importance. So this is a pandas.dataframe. So this is a function creating our feature importance. And then the XGB. So the XGB is a method because it's coming from the XGB regressor model. So it's a method belonging to this object. Then sort values. So sort values comes from the data frame. So we created our data frame right here. Importance underscore df. So we're sorting the values. So that means this is a method because it's bound or called on this object right here. xgb.predict method. That's a better OC. Belongs to the object. It's bound or belongs to the object. So xgb.predict belongs to this object. And we look at, so we get the pd.concat. So that's a standalone function. Since it doesn't belong to an object. And then we get our last one, this dot to underscore CSV, and that is a method because it belongs to the all predictions data frame object. So that's it for this video. Just remember, if it's called on an object and it's defined inside a class, it's a method. And if it has dot notation for the most part, it's a method. It's called from a module or library like pandas, numpy, or sklearn. Doesn't rely on a specific instance. It's a function. So just keep that in mind. And thank y'all for watching. See y'all in the next video.